Hello lovely people, my name is Emma and today I'm doing a video about my reading goals from 2020, reassessing how well I did for them, and then looking at some goals for the new year for 2021. So I had a whole list of goals in 2020 which now looking back feel a little bit silly because of how absolutely absurd the year turned out to be, but I did manage to meet most of them. So I had the goal of reading 100 books, and thanks to being in lockdown and on furlough for a good 3 to 4 months of the year, I actually managed to read 217. So I'm obviously really happy about that, but I do understand that that is not a sustainable amount now I'm back at full-time work, and will hopefully be starting an apprenticeship fairly soon, but we'll talk about that for 2021 in a second. I also had the goal of trying to read 40,000 pages because I was really aware that by just focusing on books rather than pages, I had a tendency to give preferential treatment to shorter books on my shelves, and it was leading me to not want to DNF books if I got certain way through them because I didn't want to have wasted my time. So I had a whole spreadsheet for the pages, and I have managed to read actually 70,504 pages this year, which is really awesome as well, which means my average page count for each book is up compared to last year, which is excellent. I think it's around the 320 mark rather than the 290 that it was last year, and I did want to try and read longer books. So for breakdown of books individually, I've not gone and broken down all the different genres or anything, but I did have certain goals when it came to non-fiction, classics and translation, and as far as I'm aware I've managed to either hit or only just miss all of them. I stopped really tracking that about halfway through the year just because I was reading so much and my reading taste had kind of changed quite a lot compared to where they were in January, that it just became a lot less fun to track all these different things. I also planned on reading a bunch of books that were longer than 500 and longer than 600 pages, and again I've managed, no sorry, longer than 500 and longer than 400 pages, and again I have actually managed to do that, but again I just stopped tracking it because it was starting to take a lot of the fun out of reading. So with all this in mind, I've actually decided to give myself almost no goals for 2021. I have set my Goodreads goal to 100 books, which I do pretty much every year, but if that needs to drop down a bit throughout the year, I'm happy to tailor that. I always tweak it, and I more just do it because I'm interested in the schedule bits than anything else, and I enjoy inputting that information, and I enjoy a computer program telling me I'm on track for something because endorphins and serotonin are important wherever you can get them. And I'm also decided to continue tracking my pages, but I'm setting myself the goal of 30,000 pages this year rather than 40,000 to just kind of bring it down a little bit. And the reason for this is I have started a brand new job, I'm in a brand new industry, and I will hopefully by the end of the year be on an apprenticeship scheme to become a qualified veterinary nurse. So due to that, I don't know when I will be able to get on an apprenticeship scheme, but I will be on one or on some form of study directly towards becoming a qualified veterinary nurse by the end of the year. And I'm just being realistic with myself that that will mean there will be less time to read. I will read fewer books, and depending on exactly when in the year that happens, my reading could take a bit of a nosedive. So rather than setting myself up for fail, I've just decided we're going to pull back a little bit, and all of these goals will be adjustable depending on how I am feeling throughout the year. I'm also not going to put any pressure on myself for what kind of books I'm going to read or a set number of classics or translated, anything like that. I'm just going to read what takes my fancy and what I feel I have the headspace for based on what's going on in my life, which makes this video quite short and quite boring if I'm entirely honest. It's almost like, why am I bothering to film this? But I did want an opportunity to go back and have a quick look at some of the stuff that I'd kind of done previously, and I felt like my kind of content, beginning of the year, end of the year content would have been it would have been conspicuous in its absence, shall we say. In terms of more general goals, my goal is to try and keep putting out 2 videos a week whilst I'm not on an apprenticeship program, and then once I am, to just give myself the goal of 1 video a week, so that way I keep creating content. I would still really like to host Springathon and the History Challenge this year. Those were 2 completely out of the blue readathons that I hosted last year. One it was Natalie from Curious Readers' idea. That was Springathon, and I came on as a co-host. The History Challenge was actually my idea, that I reached out to various people to have them co-host with me, and I would like to host both of those this year, knowing full well that my schedule might be a little bit hectic, so potentially bringing on more hosts to help to spread out the pressure of kind of content and stuff like that. But I definitely would like to do both of them, and other than that, I just want to keep reading and keep enjoying reading, and yeah, that's kind of really it. So what about you? Have you set yourself any goals for 2021? Do you find goals helpful? Do you find them stressful? I generally find them helpful, but I'm very aware that this is a hobby and I have a tendency to become a bit intense and over enthusiastic with whatever I'm doing. So if I'm not careful, I'm a bit of an overachiever. I like goals, I like to-do lists, but I can let them start to rule what I'm doing. So I'm very conscious of trying to make sure that I keep reading and YouTube as a space that is for downtime and as a hobby, and that doesn't come with any stresses connected to it. And so far I've done a really good job of, just historically across being on YouTube, not letting myself take it too far. So I just want to make sure that I keep up with that. It's been a great year for the channel. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm semi-close to 2,000. I'm hoping that will happen fairly soon. I found so many new people, which has been amazing. I wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who engages with my content in any way. There are a kind of core group of people who comment on nearly all of my videos, and I love all of you. I love seeing your names. It makes me so happy. But if you are somebody who kind of watches from the background, or only watches the odd video, or indeed if this is your first kind of video to me, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch anything I put out. This is something that I have found so much enjoyment from, and was such an important part of my life through furlough and lockdown, when I really didn't have a lot of the stuff that I like. I'm a very career driven human being, so to have that kind of stripped out from underneath me all of a sudden was kind of a bit scary in places, and this was really helpful to have something that I could kind of connect with and feel like I was still putting out something into the world and being productive in some kind of way. And it really helped to keep me grounded in what I consider to be kind of important for me. So a huge thank you to everybody who has been around, whether you're a newbie or someone who's been here from the beginning or anything like that. This is just a big heartfelt thank you very much, and I hope 2020 wasn't too horrendous for you. I hope that there was some silver lining somewhere, and I hope that 2021 is just better in all around for the world in general. And yeah, that is it from me. Have a wonderful reading year, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.